Okay, we're here with the LR4. She's got a bit of a squeak coming out of the back here, so I hadn't long changed the brake pads. Well, I thought anyway, and then I realised that the brake pads were about, I don't know, 20,000 miles old. So I've got a few things going on here. First of all, definitely the brakes. Whether you can hear that starting to rub in there. I did use these Hella pads, these Hella Pagid pads. Oh, probably can't tell from this. There we go. So these pads were only about $65 when all said and done when I changed them. But there's a couple of things going on here. First of all, I noticed the wheel. Now, these are compa motives. And the outer coating appears to be coming off, which is kind of crazy. Never had this before. It's coming off anyway. This is the only wheel that it's doing it to. So that's, I'm going to be talking to the company about that, maybe getting them recoated locally. But I've never had the like the top coat ever come off a set of wheels before like this, which is kind of strange. So I don't know whether these can get recoated or not. I know this thing goes off-road quite a bit. Secondly, the amount of travel in here is incredible. I mean, these are all original gas struts from 2010. So these have not been changed. What I do need to do when I do the brakes is, I don't know whether you can see in there, there it is. That is the electronic brake controller module. And one of the problems with the Land Rover LR4 is when your park control module fails, it puts your brakes on. Or if you're off-road and it fails, it puts your brakes on. So I actually used the cable release. Mine failed off-road and in White Sands, New Mexico. So quite a few thousand miles ago. And what happened was I wasn't actually off-roading at White Sands because you're not allowed to, but I was, you know, in the wilderness areas, and my park brake failed. And when it fails, it puts your brakes on, which isn't a really good scene when you're off-road. So I took the center glove box cup holders out, found the wire loop, was pulling for all my worth on that wire loop, and nothing was releasing. And then I checked my OBD2 sensor, my gap tool, and the park brake module itself was set to release on stress. So if I was to put it in gear and drive, it should have automatically released. And it didn't do that. So I ended up taking the other route, and of course, rather than try and strip out this whole thing, it is, let me tell you, going to be a pain in the arse to do that job. But what I ended up doing was, I don't know whether you can see here, I'm not going to get underneath this thing, and whether you can tell, there it is, right there. The only way I could release the brakes was actually get the bolt cutters on the cable and chop the cable. That was the only way I could do it, and I had to do both sides. So if you're stuck off-road and your park brake fails on these, unless you can't get it to release, you're not going anywhere. Sorry, my finger's in the way, I'm using a cell phone camera. So it's actually quite a difficult process to work through. And you know, this thing, like I said, it lives off-road, and I'm seeing the bushings in here. You know, the upper control bushings here are starting to go. There's a little bit of play in the back here, but you know, I'm at 100 and I think what, 60,000 miles now. I just recently got back from a trip towing a trailer down to Georgia, which was, I think, 1,650 miles round trip. And you know, and I noticed the squeak then, but the reality is, you know, it's something that's going to wear out on these and something that's got to get fixed. So the module itself is about $900 to fix the park brake. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that just yet. I'm going to focus on the actual brake pads themselves, and then go from there. Over and out.